Welcome to another installment of Easy Touch and Go. Today we're in New Mexico, a few miles south of White City. It's springtime and the weather's perfect, so we just arrived here, gonna camp, spend the night, and early morning we're gonna wake up and go to climb Guadalupe Peak.
The highest peak in Texas.
We're gonna spend a few days here exploring the surrounding areas, Carlsbad Caves and the forests and mountains around us. So join us on our adventures and see what this area has to offer. It's early in the morning, 5:30, the crack of dawn, and we're off. Started the trail to climb the Guadalupe Peak. It's about 8.5 miles round trip, and of course we took the wrong turn. Now we're on the right path. In a few hours we'll get to the highest peak in Texas and see what it's all about. We're about a quarter of the way to the peak. It's all uphill, quite steep, so let's keep going. Whoa, the gorge ahead. Climbing so high. The total trail is 3,000 feet of elevation gain. I think we're coming close to our first ridge crossing, and it's windy and shaded. Oh, this section is going to be awesome. Three-quarters of the way through, and this is the last climb up to the peak way over there. Almost at the top, a little bit further. Going down should take us half the time, a lot easier. Going up, you get the anticipation of getting to the peak, but the way down is much better. You get the view, it's easier, it's the fun part. Good morning. It's the next day. Yesterday we finished the hike. It took us a long time. Izzy hurt her leg, so we had to walk slow. So after about 10 hours we got back to our car completely exhausted. We drove to the camp spot where we stayed that morning and just crashed the minute we got here, went to sleep. This is the next day, and I wanted to show you something we've found here right next to this campsite on the BLM land. It's called the Park Range Cave System. There's a warning sign here and it's fenced off, but it looks like you can go in there. There is a risk of flash floods, so you need to be really careful. Yesterday it was sunny all day, but then in a minute's notice it starts raining and pretty hard, so you should be careful. So let's explore it and see what we find. It's basically an indentation in the ground with channels leading down to it, so I'm sure that if it rains anywhere in the area, there's a good chance of flooding. I won't be going very deep inside, but maybe we'll be able to see if there's any water there from yesterday's rains. It seems like there's multiple entrances, so if it's anything like other caves I've been to, it's a complete maze underground, but we'll see. This is the stream where the water funnels into these caves. They all look eroded. They all look like water created these caves just from running down and eroding the soil. This is going to the first cave. See some poop here. What is that? I don't know. Whoa. What is this shit? Oh, it's like a pile of, I don't know what, maggots or something. There's a pipe here where you have to sign in if you venture into the cave. Let's see who's been here last. There's the registry. You have to sign up when you go in the cave. Signed in. We'll leave it here. The last entry was about a week and a half ago. Let's go and see what we can find. Oh, just goes on. Oh, cool. This is long. It's cool in here. Not very misty. There's a lot of this poop kind of thing around. Holy shit, I am leaving this place. Goes quite deep. I didn't want to go really deep, but here we have another cave. So it seems to go down, so if it rains, it's not the place to be. It's very low. You have to crouch to get past it. Oh man. Ugh. Let's see what we can find here. I won't go too far as well. I think this cave system is pretty big. It's like a whole day thing. Definitely not by myself. There are a lot of spiders and a lot of critters in here. You cannot be afraid of this stuff, and I must say I don't like them. Not in these quantities. Heading out. This is how low it is. We're finished with this part, and the other area of caves is right there. So this is the other area. Here there's only one entrance. And it goes straight down. Oh, it gets like really, I think you have to crawl down there. So I think I'll let this be. And we'll go explore some other area now. We're at the Carlsbad Caverns. Going down, it's about a 2-hour visit. It's about a 2.5 mile hike. Izzy's gonna take the elevator down, and I'm taking the long way through the cave to the main hall. We'll see see how big it is. People say it's pretty substantially big, bigger than anything that I might have seen so far. Let's go. So cool, these little birds look like bats. We're down at the main hall. It's about 1.25 miles round trip in this beautiful giant hall. There's a lot more stalagmites and stalactites here than on the way down. I guess that's why this is the popular spot. Looks like this was full of water once, so the calcium just built up in these layers on top of the water. Today we're exploring the Guadalupe mountain park. Yesterday we slept at the Lincoln National Forest. We're going to explore the mountains and then we're going to drive along that ridge all the way to the end of it. It's supposed to be really scenic and cool off-roading drive. Right now we're at the 5-point vista. After driving around the Guadalupe mountain park for a bit, we saw that some of the trails we wanted to do were a bit more challenging than what we have hoped. So we explored north of the park and we got to the Last Chance Canyon. And I read that this is a very popular climbing spot for cliff climbers. Cool. So this is the edge, Last Chance Canyon. I don't know where they would rappel from or climb. I don't see any markings here. But I bet if you're here, you know what you're doing. That's cool. I'm assuming the climbers go down somewhere, climb on these cliffs. I don't see any trails though. Maybe it's one of those make your own trails. So we have just turned off road on road number 413. It goes north along the Lincoln National Forest to Pinon, New Mexico. It's about a 60-mile drive off-road. I hope the conditions will be not challenging and we could do it pretty fast. This is where we're going. It's heading north. This road is pretty beautiful, quite isolated. There's nobody here. There's just us and the vultures. We're back to our campsite for the night. The road was not 413 as I thought. It quickly changed to road 67. It went for about maybe 80 miles of gravel road. It took us about 4 hours to do it. We did a lot of side trips along the way. You need high clearance if you want to do it fast enough. 4x4 is not necessary. And that's all for this trip. I hope you enjoyed our little adventure, and stay tuned for the future adventures. And early morning we're gonna wake up and go to climb Guadalupe Peak.
Yeah.
We're gonna spend a few days here exploring the surrounding areas, Carlsbad Caves and forests and mountains around us. So join us on our adventures and see what this area has to offer.
The highest peak in Texas. You can cut it.